In 1 week from today, more people will be eligible to receive their COVID vaccination. But our Nixon Norman says that doesn't mean there will be enough vaccine to go around right away.
Eligibility does not equate to availability.
What Smith means is just because more people will soon be eligible does not mean that more vaccine will magically appear.
Monday, February the 8th, those who are 65 and older are included in the group.
This should be nothing but great news, but more people becoming eligible creates more obstacles.
I will confess that we're a little bit daunted this week. You know, you've got the same amount of vaccine, and now you suddenly have 3 times as many people that are eligible for that vaccine.
One vaccine brand is easier to access than others.
Pfizer is a little more accessible right now around the state because you have to have the ultra cold storage capability in order to have it. Moderna is much more stretched out because there's more people that can manage it.
The number of vaccines being allotted to different states may seem like a huge amount, but you soon realize there isn't enough vaccines for everyone who is eligible to receive it.
We have gotten 10,000 additional doses. That sounds noble and it's wonderful. Divide 10,000 by 67 counties. It's about 149 doses if you do it equitably for all counties.
Even though the number of vaccines is still an issue, Smith asks a favor from those waiting to receive the vaccine.
Yes, you are important. Yes, you are essential. Yes, you are all those things. Please just try to hang in there. We'll try to have more providers. We'll try to fight for more vaccine.
Putting the Valley first, Nixon Norman.